Hey guys, this is Mosbeck, the new rifler and entry fragger for Team Curse, showing you guys some different ways on how to play mid B on Dust2. For mid B on Dust2, ways to play it consistently is to have your mid and B guys playing together for the majority of the time. You want to have them grouped up to establish some sort of map control on one side, whether that be tunnels, you're spawning mid, you know they're coming out mid, okay, let's push tunnels together. You push tunnels and control tunnels, or whether that be controlling mid together and just giving up B. These ways are probably the most consistent. Like, you never want to have just one B playing wherever and then a mid guy playing, you know, wherever you would like by himself. And the reasons for that is if they trade on this guy or you don't even get the kill, they just get a really nice shot or catch you blind. That makes your B player completely susceptible to a mid B rush and just kind of leaves them so vulnerable to everything. The only time I would recommend you playing just one guy mid by himself, one B, is when you have someone from CT to help you out. Whether that be him spotting from like elevator, spawning mid, whether that be you spawning and he has a flash ready. So say he just has his flash on lined up like this. You say they're coming out mid. You're gonna flash, and that's gonna catch anyone blind around here, and you could peek with that as well. Or the same thing goes. He's spotting. He spots him. You throw a flash. You peek and kill anyone in that area there. Or you could just do a simple thing by having him right here and you kind of bait them in for him. So say you kind of delay your peek, you can also flash over, just kind of baiting them in and making them think it's just you on this side, and so when they come out your teammate's just going to be ready for them to come and it's going to be, you know, free kills for him. Okay, so things to remember when you're playing mid B. You're gonna, what I like to do is to set up for a rush at the start every round. You're gonna set up for a rush. So I would come doors every time and have my flashes ready. Obviously, if I didn't have flashes, I'd set up differently. But assuming you're on a full gun round, you have flashes and everything, you're gonna come to B doors, just have flashes ready, set up like this, ready to bounce off this box, and you would have your B player coming through window every round. And you would just kind of play for the spot. So you come in, play for the spot. I wouldn't recommend jumping up here to spot, just in case there was an opper back there waiting for you to peek. So play for the spot. Obviously, if they start flashing, you're just gonna want to release the flash or flashes. And obviously, if he spots one as well, you're gonna flash off that wall, peek, or if they're rushing, they're trying to straight up rush, you're gonna be able to clean it up as well. So that's a really good way to stop any kind of rush. And obviously if they're not rushing, you're gonna come up and smoke his tunnels for him, but you don't want to smoke it right away. You want to try to delay it for as long as possible, just so you can have tunnel smoked off for as long as possible. Most teams won't execute through that smoke, so you want to kind of delay it as long as possible, you know, 10-15 seconds, and then go set up into your first setup. Okay, so wait a bit, smoke off the tunnels for him, and you guys are going to come get set up and do whichever setup you like. The first setup I'm going to show you has one player playing like this with a flash ready to go off that wall, and you're going to have one person up here kind of spotting like this. So he takes a shot or two, spots him, hides immediately, and this player just gets ready with a flash. So once he spots him, you know, flash off that wall, peek, and this flash is going to catch anybody blind in this whole area here. So anyone blind in that area will be a nice kill for you and your teammate. Basically, you just control that while you're leaving tunnels open. So after that flash, the guy on the scaffolding here is going to come down and peek with you and just, you know, get whatever kills you can and just give up B. Another thing to remember too when you're playing mid B, say you guys are doing some kind of setup, always remember you can smoke off tunnels from back here as well if you just don't want to go through the window. or you can use the smoke for a retake B. If you guys need a retake, you can always use the smoke. So what you're gonna do to line it up is the side of this door right here. You're gonna go straight up above it, just aligned with the side of the door, probably about this high, and you're gonna let it go. It's gonna land right in the tunnels. So that's good for a retake smoke, or if you need to just smoke out B, just to keep it smoked off. Different ways you can use it, but yeah, that's a good smoke to remember as well on this map. Okay, so that's one setup. Another setup you're gonna do, that you can do, sorry, is having tunnels control. Basically, you're gonna play for the spot. Obviously, you're gonna smoke out tunnels for as long as possible, and you're gonna have one player playing either right here or right here, somewhere close, or you can even, you know, play on top of these things. Jump up here. Like he can play up here. He's kind of holding like this, while your teammate's kind of spotting for a mid B. Takes a shot or two, knows they're coming out. Okay, I'm gonna start flashing. Flashing the tunnels. You guys take over tunnels and give up mid. That's something that's really good. You just take it over together. Most teams will usually only send 2 tunnels. So, and majority of the time it's with a bomb. So if you push tunnels, get the bomb down, establish complete tunnel control with the bomb. Obviously, you tell your teammates, they can rotate accordingly, and you can just control that the whole time. So that's something to really take into account. Really good setup. Simple, but effective. Okay, so the next setup that I'm going to show you guys is good for when you either have an opper back here, or say, you can either spot it with a rifle as well, but you're going to do it like this. Come back. Always changing up your position when you go to spot, and you're just kind of waiting. If your teammate calls for a flash, you're just gonna kind of let it go with flash like that. And the way you're gonna have your B player set up is just kind of spotting from window. So he's gonna be spotting from window, playing for the spot, spots him, calls for a flash, flashes over, and this guy's gonna be able to peek. You should have 2 flashes, right? So he's not going to fully commit to the peek, like run down and try to fight him. He's going to peek, maybe shoot 1 down or shoot 2 or whatever. And then you could wait for another flash too. You could tell your teammate, okay, reflash for me. Reflashes, come out, and you can kind of fully peek on that and try to control it. Or you guys could just set up properly. You could have, you know, one person fall off like that, have him holding window from right there. Just have him holding window while you have another person watching the door slash tunnels. So there's different ways you can set up for that. I know a lot of pro teams like to do that setup, in particular Rare games. They did that a lot in Dust2. Works really well. It's really consistent. So basically that would be it. Those are kind of 3 setups to take into account. Well, 4, I guess, including the CT spawn one as well. And there's one really simple one that you guys can do, just with your guns out. So you kind of have one person spotting like this, holding, and the other guy for mid literally is going to be right behind him, kind of around here, spotting like that, while the other person's either like right around here, this area, and you guys are going to kind of fight mid together. That's a really, really basic setup, but it's also really good. I've seen a lot of teams do that. Just simple things that go a long way. Alright guys, I hope this video helped you a lot and gave you some insight on how to properly play mid-B on Dust2 on a more consistent level. Alright, and thanks for watching. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/CRS-Mosbeck and Facebook at facebook.com/Mosbeck. Thanks a lot, and I hope you guys enjoy.